and welcome back to Bookish Theories. In today's video, I would like to talk about Tomorrow by Together's Blue Hour, focusing on a little breakdown and analysis of both the lyrics and the music video. Blue Hour is a song that deals with the themes of friendship, change, and growth, that explores the importance of imagination as a medium of escapism and happiness. Now, as we see in a second, the song shows us the boys going back to their magical world in the attempt to reconnect with each other and enjoy their friendship in a place where they can do whatever they want. But as it often happens with Tomorrow by Together, things are not as peachy as they seem, because even if Blue Hour is a time full of magic and wonder, 5:53 is also a moment of the afternoon that in October overlaps with sunset, meaning that, as happy as it may be, this is also a moment that is bound to end soon because the night is actually approaching. You see, much like the boys explained during the comeback countdown, Blue Hour is an album that should be regarded as an interlude of sorts between the Dream Chapter series and the next one. It's a project that tells short stories that are meant to connect the two series together, and that heavily focuses on the changes that people go through when growing up. So despite the fact that the song itself is cheerful and energetic, the underlying idea is much more bittersweet than that. Because even if Blue Hour portrays a genuine moment of happiness, this moment of happiness will soon come to an end. Like Beomgyu pointed out in the live, the concept behind Blue Hour foreshadows a shift that is emotionally complex. And this is because even if Blue Hour is very colorful and bright, it's also a time where the sun sets and the shadows of the night start to spread all around. And this idea is perfectly conveyed in the video, because even if the overall concept is very colorful and imaginative, by the end of the song we also see that after the Blue Hour is over, the dream officially disappears. Now, if we keep in mind that Blue Hour is meant to bridge the gap between the Dream Chapter series and the next one, we can say that this comeback revolves around the last moments of childhood innocence that anticipate the shift between youth and adulthood. If at the beginning we see the boy sleeping and Soobin dropping the book he was reading in the teaser, by the end of the video we see Beomgyu all alone, stepping on the book and walking away by himself. Now, right off the bat, this is very interesting, because as we'll see in a second, this might imply that their youth, that is, the literal dream chapter of their life, will end the moment the Blue Hour is over. But if Yeonjun, Soobin, Taehyun and Hyunin Kai seem pretty much unaware that this change is coming, Beomgyu is experiencing this Blue Hour knowing that this change is actually approaching. You see, much like what we saw back in Drama, this time around, Beomgyu seems to be the unofficial protagonist of the video. Because despite the focus is pretty much divided equally among the boys, every now and then we get the sense that Beomgyu is experiencing this Blue Hour a little differently in comparison to the others. At the beginning, for instance, we see the boy sleeping on the tree, but the first thing that we see is actually Beomgyu being wide awake and looking straight at the autumn leaves. Now, this imagery is important for a couple of reasons, because if on the one hand autumn is a season that represents maturity, on the other, the fact that we see the boys sleeping on an autumn tree implies that even if they are on the verge of maturity, they still don't know it just yet. The boys here are still fully unconscious and somewhat lost in the dream chapter of their youth. But in comparison, Beomgyu is self-aware and wide awake. He knows that the summer of their life is ending and that adulthood is around the corner. But before sadness overcomes him, we see the book falling and a bluebird drawing his attention towards the Ferris wheel, meaning that even if the shadow of maturity is approaching, they still have this Blue Hour to be together before the night eventually comes. Here's the thing, if in this context the bluebirds are a symbol of happiness, the Ferris wheel is a symbol that represents the circle of life. But if you look closely, this Ferris wheel is not only moving in an anti-clockwise direction, but straight up stops moving the moment the boy's time strikes 5:53, thus showing that in this world, their happiness is literally portrayed by time freezing in a moment in the past where they were all together. Even if maturity is inevitable, this is a world where they can turn back the clock and still indulge in their games a little bit longer. So even if the lyrics tell us that Beomgyu knows that the end will come despite of this time machine, the Blue Hour makes him forget about his worries for a while and allows him to help the others to distract themselves as well. As the song tells us, when 5:53 strikes, the blue hour allows them to shake off the awkwardness of their everyday life and forget the sadness that lingers in their eyes. Because at this time everything is beautiful in the other world. And this is because the other world is the representation of their friendship, their youth, and the special connection that they share. You see, even if we can say that this might be Beomgyu's dream, I think that a more fitting explanation would be that this is a collective dream that we're seeing through Beomgyu's perspective. The Magic Island or the other world that we see in the video are all representations of an inner place that they can access with their imagination. But the whole point of the story is that they are together in this world. This is their place, their universe, and a reality where they're free to do whatever they want and play as much as they like. And this idea is not only conveyed by their cowboy personas, which are symbols of freedom, individuality, and defiance, but it was also confirmed by the boys themselves, because in the behind the scenes, Hyunin Kai explained that the carousel is their secret hideout. Now, this is actually a very interesting concept because the carousel itself is a symbol that is heavily linked to the concepts of time and illusion. Since the shape of the ride is a circle, the carousel is not only a symbol of youth and innocence, but it's also a ride without a beginning nor an ending. So the fact that the carousel is such an important prop in the video may be an indication that the boys wish to play this game eternally and be young forever. Which, incidentally, is the very thing that they wish for in Can't We Just Leave the Monster Alive. I'm mentioning this because when the boys are in front of the carousel, we also see a shooting star in the sky. So this could imply that what we are seeing here is the outcome of the promise that they made with the star but that they forgot when growing up. As Yeonjun tells us, when the door of his dreams unsealed, the you of his memories becomes real. So this means that what is taking place is not happening in the present, but in a dream version of the past where the boys are reunited, even if in reality they are actually separated. This could actually imply that in the timeline, Blue Hour might fit after the pre-sequel teaser that follows the events that we see in Can't You See Me. But to a certain extent, this concept can also be applied to the real-life boys and to their relationship with Moa. Because every time that they say that you are the only one that they want, the boys are not pointing at each other, but they're pointing at the camera. Meaning that this is a song that is meant to show you their love as much as the power of dreams. Just like in the story, the boys can reunite in their imagination, the same can be said for you guys as well. And this is because, as the video shows us, in our imagination we are the creators of our own dreams. After the boys freefall from the carousel, for instance, we see them landing in a painted version of Magic Island, and we see Yeonjun literally painting a blue hour on a canvas. And this is important because both of these scenes imply that this is a reality that the boys created in their imagination and that they are now turning real with the tools that they have. As the chipmunks symbolize, this painted wonderland is a reality where the boys are safe and well protected. So it should come to no surprise that in the lyrics they tell us that they want to find a clue to stop the sun, because this is a world that they don't want to leave, where they can imagine anything they want and play together for eternity. As the video shows us, however, Beomgyu knows that this moment cannot last forever, so as the others sleep peacefully in their fantasy, he is sad because even in the dream he has already reached maturity. When the bridge comes, however, the wind arises, the sun starts to go down, and the rest of the boys awaken as well. Meaning that now they're literally on the same chapter of their book. Now they all know that the blue hour will come to an end and that the magic will end with it. But before this happens and they disappear into the night, they look at each other one more time and dance together like the day they danced all night. This is their little way to say goodbye to each other and to the dream that they still hold on to. But when the sky gets dark, life comes in the way, because now the Ferris wheel is moving again, and this time it's moving clockwise. This means that as much as they try to enjoy every last second that they have together, life is going on and they are about to get separated once again. So even if they want to get trapped in the magic, the hour between the dog and the wolf has come and gone and the dream is over. Now, them defining the blue hour as the hour between dog and wolf is an interesting addition here, because if on the one hand, much like the cat and the puma, the dog and the wolf might symbolize their growth, on the other it may foreshadow something darker as well. You see, the hour between dog and wolf is a phrase that comes from a French saying that actually refers to a moment where it becomes difficult to distinguish between a friend and a foe. If the dog is the friend and the wolf is the foe, the blue hour marks the moment where it becomes more difficult to tell them apart. So this could be an indication that moving forward, the story will actually show us their friendship being destroyed by a dog, unexpectedly turning into a wolf when the night comes. Now, this idea might also have been foreshadowed by Yeonjun as well, because in the behind the scenes of the comeback medley, he said that if the cat in Cat and Dog symbolizes the angel side, the puma symbolizes the devil side of their personality, and since we know that in the story the boys already chose to be the puma, this could be an indication that in the future they will become wolves as well. For now, however, what we know for sure is that the end of the blue hour also comes with the end of this specific chapter of their life. So as we see the carousel turning off and their dream of eternal youth disappearing with it, we also see Beomgyu stepping on the book and living the dream by himself. This is an indication that even if he was the first one to realize that this moment would come, he was also the last one to let go of the dream that he shared with the others. So even if the Ferris wheel is still going backwards at this point, now this time machine is useless because the others actually moved on without him. Like drama showed us, Beomgyu's character always wanted their friendship and their love. But just like in that video he was the last one to join, in Blue Hour he's the last one to leave, because with the autumn also came the loneliness that he was trying to escape since the very beginning. In the dream, he could play with the others and be with them forever, but now this is all gone because they left him. And if Wei Young tells us anything, this change will actually come with a lot of consequences. For now, however, we'll have to wait and see. In the meantime, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you did, please think about liking and subscribing. As always, thank you so much for watching, guys. I'm so sorry for my voice today. I'll see you next time. Bye bye!